A lot of times in the entrepreneurial journey, you do kind of lean outside of the mainstream flow, okay? Which is why a lot of entrepreneurs are saying, expressing themselves about how they've been beaten down, how they've been disputed, put down, faced like really hard times, not only the strife of the entrepreneurial journey and figuring things out and how it works for them and their specific path, because it is very individualistic when you go that route, but also the lack of support that they've received, ridicule that they've received, and the prejudice they've received, and the resistance that they've received. And that's been imposed on them. It's not just, oh, I came across this thing that was really hard. It was like, no, I'm actively going to stop or prevent or push against you because this challenges my beliefs, or this challenges the system and the structure that's in place at the moment. This whole thing that we've set up. This is where you can encounter resistance against whatever it is you're doing by seeking it and going for it. But then at the same time, I'm not saying that you kind of have to, but sometimes internally we do feel that way because that is our calling. Literally, it's calling us to take action, do that thing and realize it, achieve that success, whatever that means to you. I just wanted to acknowledge these types of resistance, how it can affect your journey in different ways. Be aware of it, because then that can lead to other things such as ostracization. It can lead to you feeling and becoming an outsider for real. Same with your mentality and thoughts. Those can be ostracized and criticized. You can be seen as an outsider literally because of the way that you express yourself, the way that you speak, the way that you think, the way that you act, the way that you ingest information. Every single thing that you do when you're leaning outside of that mainstream narrative and flow is open for criticism. In a similar way, when you try and implement any kind of business, it's very similar because you're stripped naked, you're shown where your weak areas are, you're exposed. Now, I'm not saying just because you're criticized by mainstream society for certain things that that's right and they're justified by saying that, because a lot of the times they're not. If you're thinking creatively and innovatively, you've created this new thing or this new way of thinking or this thing that solves this issue, been just left or untackled, in some way protected just because it's how things have worked for however long, then you're going to get criticized for that thing, even though you've created a simpler, more streamlined way of doing that thing that benefits a lot more people. People will still criticize sometimes, even if it is beneficial overall, holistically, because it's a change. So they're not always going to be criticizing for valid and justifiable reasons. It may be just cause, or just because it's different. In a ways, it's a prejudice. The same way that people are ostracized just because they're different. It's a weird mentality that goes on, and not enough people sort of question themselves, question why they feel that sort of way, question why they're criticizing certain things and ostracizing certain things, and questioning all of these things all of the time, running it through their filter and being like, could I be wrong? Is this justifiable, me criticizing that or being prejudiced towards that, or not having an open mind or giving it a chance, understanding it more, seeing things from another perspective or another person's perspective? They don't challenge their thoughts or not. And because of that, they can band together, throw this heat sometimes. And on the other side, that is something that you may have to face to varying degrees, depending on how different your idea, your concept, your movement is away from that mainstream flow. So there is a lot of dynamics that you'll face, ride and wave. It's just a journey, it's how it is, you know. Big part of what a lot of different entrepreneurs talk about, whether not successful or successful, they'll have been very privy to this because they'll have been exposed to it straight away to varying degrees, but they'll have seen this. That cape that's over a lot of these dynamics will definitely have been revealed. Almost no way that you can avoid it other than your idea, concept or whatever is pretty much fully in line with mainstream society's flow and whatever's trending. If it's fully in line within that, you'll probably not face much resistance, if any. So it'll feel like a very, very smooth ride, and you probably won't know what people mean when they talk about these things, because you'll be like, that guy's talking crap, I didn't encounter any of this. Yeah, and it's because you didn't encounter any of that you think that person's talking crap until you encounter it, and then you'll be like, oh, okay, this is what they meant, this is what they were talking about, you know what I'm saying? So it's very, very interesting. It hits on a number of levels. It's instinctual, it's political, and yeah, there's just a lot of different levels, paradigms and dynamics to it. But I think mostly, like I said before, instinctual, political, and it's also lack of being able to self-criticize, lack of awareness and laziness. It's a combination of all of those things. But obviously also there's a societal narrative. So anything that falls out of that is going to get a little bit of pushback. That's how it is. However you choose to sort of step away from that mainstream, if you choose to, you're going to see this. And again, to varying degrees. Throw down in the comments, guys. Let me know what you think about this. Have you already experienced it to some degree? Have you not? Do you know what I'm talking about? Or do you think I'm talking ish? Throw down in the comments. Let me know what you think. And yeah, this doesn't just go with regards to like business and the entrepreneurial route. It comes down to you as a person, what you believe, how you express yourself, how you are looking to conduct yourself.